Listen, when should you quit? Are you an entrepreneur? Are you trying to figure out if I should keep this thing, throw it away, quit, not quit? We're going to break down entrepreneurship and when they should quit in this episode. What's going on, y'all? It's another episode of Minding Your Biz, where we talk about minding all things business, right? Relationships, business, everything that it affects and has an impact on. I'm one of your co-hosts, Dr. BlackWealth. And
this is Miss Fabfinancial checking in.
Right.
Checking in on when to quit.
Right. When should you quit? That's the question we answering today.
All right.
What you got?
Okay, so which answer you want? So okay, so I think two things. I think strategically, right? If you're already in business, you know, you should be looking at your numbers. And
guess it can't be many people without seeing looking at your numbers.
For sure. You definitely got to look at the numbers.
Yeah.
If it don't fit, you must have quit. Right? If you're not making money, you need to adjust what you're doing or quit. Stop doing something that's not working for you. And I think that people stick to something because they're trying to save face, their pride, their ego. They don't know when to pull off the gas, right? And so I think if it's not making money and if it's not generating money for you, you need to quit. You need to pack it up and do something else, or really focus on fixing what the thing is, right? And I think as a business owner myself, who has quit certain things in my business that was not working. And I think sometimes we are afraid to admit when things just aren't working. So I think we need to be better at quitting things that are not working instead of sticking in for the long suffering and it's draining you. You've put in 5 years, 6 years of this thing. You're still using it as a side job. You know, it's just draining your pockets. Like every year you got a Schedule C and you're like, what? This business is not working for you. Quit and do something else that's working. Now, on the other side of it, I do think that you need to give 110% of the thing that you committed to do, right? So if you are a business owner and you're like, this is the thing, I've been doing this thing for 12 years. As I'm going through a recession in my business, I have to double down and stay committed to fixing the issue, but I'm not going to quit, right? It's a resilience that I have to push forward so that I can get through the lull or the recession in my business, right? So I'm going to fix the problem, quit the thing that's not working, but double down on what is so that I can get to the other side. So to me, it's about numbers and it's about being 100% committed to the thing that you say you want to do, right? So I do think it's mindset, and I think it's dealing and working in facts and not feeling.
So if I'm 100% all in on what I want to do, and the thing's just not working, how long do I stay into it?
I think you give it 3 years.
Oh, that's a long time.
I think you give it 3 years.
3 years.
I think if you're doing it 100% for 3 years, I think that's a good amount of time. It's definitely a few seasons. The first year, you really can't gauge, to me. That's not you got 4 seasons. The second year, you can go, okay, am I increasing the same quarter? How am I doing, right? Did I understand the seasonality of my business, right? The second year, you're kind of fixing what didn't happen the first year. You're learning the business, right? It's research, it's marketing, because everything doesn't hit, right? But you need to be able to adjust in what's not working. By the third year, if there is no growth in none of your quarters, by the third year, then you need to quit. That's just...
I mean, listen, hey.
I'm just saying, the IRS says after the third year, it's a hobby. Pack it up and do it again.
You're like, no, this is going to work. I've been doing in the whatever.
If by the third year, if you see no growth, if you see no growth after the third year in none of your quarters, you need to quit. Everybody might not like that. Everybody might not like that opinion. After the third year, you don't see no growth?
With first year I made money, second year I lost money, third year we like,
So, but
do
I'm
I
saying,
go another year?
But that means you had some growth.
So so you got enough data to see like what works, what don't work.
For sure. The first year, if
about 3 years period, you should be.
You should know what's you should know the ebbs and flows. By the third year, you should start to see a pattern in your business. The first year, if you looked up and was like, "Dang, I got something," the chocolate covered cupcakes is hitting, right? It's doing good. I'm doing good. I'm selling it. I tried a new flavor. It's not working. I can quit my job. I opened up a brick and mortar. There's growth. There's things happening. You're profitable after a few quarters. The second year, you made some bad decisions. The market changed. Your rent increased. I don't know. People don't like the chocolate cupcake anymore. You adjusted. You tried a new flavor. The third year, you adjusted. You said, "Dang, year 2 was rough. My third year, I've looked at my data from the first and second years. I'm good at this. I'm going to bring back the chocolate covered so-and-so. I'm not going to do too much. I got too many flavors. I need to stay committed to the thing I'm good at. I'm not going to do a cooking show. I'm not going to, get a brick and mortar. I'm not going to, whatever, right? You start to scale and change. Maybe you have your hands in too many pots, right? There's data in your failures as well. So after the third year, again, if there is no growth, every quarter you are not making no money, you need to quit.
Oh my God. Somebody might be like, "Look, I got that entrepreneur bug. It's in me. I gotta figure."
That's the problem. Long suffering. Just to say
I could just make money. I could do this. We've been doing this.
If you're making money, then we won't have a problem. If you are profitable, if what you're spending is less than what you're making, and there's a profit that you can increase upon every quarter and then every year, then you a business and you're
Most
making
people don't
money.
Don't nobody know their numbers.
That's the problem.
Nobody know their numbers. Nobody.
Nobody?
I ain't gonna say nobody, but most people starting off don't know their numbers.
Okay. I know my numbers. I got to know my numbers.
Most people be like, "What's the numbers?" Till I say, "We need the numbers." I don't know. I don't know what we can do. We need the numbers, right?
For sure. And that's a problem.
Yeah.
If you don't know how much your business is making, and that's the problem. People stick into something too long because they don't know their numbers. They don't know how profitable they are.
Yeah.
So you don't know when you need to quit in something that you're dumping your money into that's not being profitable for you.
Yeah. So I think like that you not making money ultimately is a sign of something, right? So if we start a business, even if we go with your timeline, 3 years, which I think is a good timeline, 3 years.
You think 5 years? Like how long should you stick into something?
No, I think that you should see some progress like month after month after. I'm breaking it down to the months, like almost the weeks.
And it also depends on the business, right?
Because
sometimes
model.
you do put in a lot of money, like restaurants.
Yeah.
You dump a lot of money in on the front end, and you may not get out of the red until year 3 or 4 because you got the build out the kitchen on a restaurant is super expensive, right? You may not see your return until year 3, but now you may see monthly gross, right? You might say, all right, well, listen,
you made money.
I made money, right? I'm able to pay employees. I'm able to cover the rent, but I didn't get my full investment back until year 3, 4, or 5. That's different.
Sure.
But if you are making money and the business can sustain its monthly revenue, that's growth.
Yeah.
That's growth.
So I don't believe in quitting, but what I do believe in is pivoting.
I quit.
And failing fast.
Put in your resignation. Let it go.
No.
Let it go.
So here's why I say pivoting, right? Because I think that most people we've seen them. I know some people who like, I'm an entrepreneur and I'm going to do a thing. And what I think is sometimes we get consumed about what it is that we want to do in business and what we feel is a good idea versus actually doing business and figuring out what the market needs, what you could provide that the market have, because it might be something you don't want to do. You know what I mean? Like, I think about me when I started doing taxes, I didn't want to do it. I'm like, I don't want to do it.
But your first year doing taxes, you made money. You were profitable.
For sure.
The second year you made money.
For sure.
You were profitable.
For sure. But I'm saying but most people who are like, listen, I'm like, this is a thing. I'm a transportation, whatever. I'm going to figure it out. It'd be a lot about the passion about what they want.
For sure.
Versus like being even restaurants in some shape, form, or fashion, right? Instead of like looking at the market and saying, look, we got a soul food restaurant over here. We got a Mexican restaurant over here. I'm starting to see some growth in the Italian community. Maybe Olive Garden might be a good idea to put here. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's how most restaurants even expand. They look at the market and where they're going to figure out what type of money is being generated over here. That's why you don't see luxury shopping centers in certain places. You
look at the problem.
You look at the problem and you figure out how to solve it. But most of us who stick to a business for so long is not necessarily looking at entrepreneurship from a business perspective. They looking at it from a personal,
for sure.
Like, this is what I want to do.
Absolutely.
I want to run transportation, or I want to do, I want to flip burgers over here, whatever that looks like, right? And your burgers might not be good.
That's a fact. That is a fact. To me, I agree with you. I don't have any. I agree. I think
so. That's why I'm like, you got to pivot. No, quit, but it might be hard where you quit. Might feel. No, you
quit.
Pivot.
I mean, even if you pivot, sometimes the pivoting is just like turning, but you still like catty corner. You're still like, I still got one foot in over here. Close shop.
Yeah.
Shut this down and do something else.
Oh, okay. So when I say pivot, it's not necessarily pivoting on like that same thing. I'm saying pivot in entrepreneurship. Maybe you don't do this business, but you do this business. There's plenty of people who are millionaires now that started off doing something and then now they ended up, I found my niche in coaching, or I'm a good marketer, or I'm a good, but the thing is they had forward momentum that they kept doing something that led them to one thing after the next. You know, but that
doesn't mean what they initially started wasn't profitable.
You know what I mean? That's true. It's a difference.
There's a difference. Because the thing that they started paid the bills and they made money.
Right.
That doesn't mean they became wealthy or they became super successful at that thing.
Right.
But the initial thing generated revenue
to do something else.
To do something else. Yeah. Right. I'm talking about the thing that you're pouring your time, energy, and money into that's not yielding a return
for sure.
That is draining you. And it's causing division in your home. You know what I mean? Like, It's like, why you keep putting money into this? Like, what is happening? No, that's not working. You're not adjusting. You're not educating yourself. You're not plugging in the holes. You're doubling down on something that's not profitable.
Now, this is about to be funny. So... Now this is funny because, right, I'm still wholeheartedly, I don't believe in quitting. I believe in pivoting and keeping an open mind to like exploring new things. But if you dare set on an idea, have you ever seen a movie? How you say it? A Criminy with Taraji P. Henson that Tyler Perry wrote. Acrimony.
Okay.
You seen that movie?
I seen it a while ago.
So it's a funny, good, debatable movie because it speaks to like when should you quit? Like how you saying like if I'm married or whatever, like should I pour money into this?
Yeah, because she quit, and then after he made a bit super
like
wealthy.
She was pouring money into him, and he was like, no, this thing is gonna hit. I just got to do this. This thing is gonna hit. Then she was like, I can't do this no more. We broke. We done remortgaged the mom house. We spent all the life insurance money. I'm out of here. And the next thing you know, he hit golden. Boop. And she like, that's my money. He done made it big.
That's
and right. He done got a new way.
Are you comparing that? Are you trying to say long suffering? What's happening?
What I'm saying is sometimes like I don't know what that is. Like you don't know like if your idea is a for sure idea.
But that's okay. It's a difference
or
between
a business idea.
Okay, it's a difference between
that's gonna hit
industry changing inventions in a service that you're providing. Right. So if
like he's being an inventor.
Right. That's different. So if I'm inventing a process
for sure
or a thing
for sure,
and I need to put money into it to make it better, make it more palatable for the market.
For sure.
Right. That's different.
Like we might have to spend 10 years to get this thing right.
Absolutely.
To get $1 billion.
Right. Like if you think about EV cars.
Right.
Right. That technology had to wait the perfect time. Yeah. It had to be accessible to everyday people. You had to have chargers around. You know what I mean? That's different.
Yeah.
Invention in industry is different than a product or service
that you're doing the business in.
Absolutely.
You still think you should quit?
Absolutely. If you're selling cupcakes, it don't take 10 years to make your cupcake business profitable.
Right. But I mean, that's where people
either
probably,
they like it or they don't.
But that's
either
where people,
you're a good marketer
that's
or
why
you're
I say
not.
You gotta pivot. It's not about quitting. You just got to pivot. Maybe the thing that you're doing specifically is just not working. The way you go get customers is just not working. Maybe you get a coach. Maybe you find somebody who can help you.
And you should do that in the first 3 years. If you don't do that in the first 3 years, that means you're not committed to you or the business to be successful.
No, I agree.
You're not. Then you need to quit. If you can't put in the necessary work to move the business forward, then you need to quit. That means you don't value you. You don't think you can do it, but you want everybody else to do it. I should value you more than you value yourself. Then you need to quit. Yeah. If it's not happening, and every business doesn't hit in the first 3 years, please don't get me twisted.
Sometimes it takes 5 years.
But what I'm saying is, if you see no
growth,
and you're not trying to plug the holes in the business, like I'm saying right now, the last year I had a recession in my business.
Right.
I am actively working trying to plug those holes.
Right.
But I've been in business for 12 years and seen growth.
Right.
Like my first 10 years was very, very profitable. So I'm not going to quit.
Right.
Because I'm now having a recession or a downward turn, because that's just how business is.
The cycle.
That's the cycle of business.
Yeah.
If my first 3 years was a dumpster fire of a business and it didn't work, then I would say, okay, am I going to put in the necessary time and energy to grow this thing? I have a coach that I spend money on. I have employees. We're looking at new ways. This podcast, we invest time and money to make it something.
I know.
We are committed.
If we don't see this thing flip in 2 years, 3 years.
3 years. If we don't see growth, if we don't see the channel growing, and we have calls every day, almost every week.
You got to rebrand.
Look at the analytics. We need to change this. Why are we committed to the growth? If it's not growing, if it doesn't fit, we must quit. Because we got to pay these people for this microphone and this, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
quitting just sounds so.
That sounds cut it. How that song go? The price.
Cut it.
You need to cut it. You need to let it go. Cut the emotional ties and to keep something going that's not beneficial.
Yeah.
Because you aren't committed to the growth or the success of the business. It's more internal.
Right. Well, that's what I was just about to say. Once you get to that point where you become a little bit like it's insanity, that's you trying to save face or trying to make something work that you want to work.
For sure.
But typically, like I think about me, like you said, the taxes was profitable. It was nothing that I wanted to personally do, but when I think back at it, it was the direction that I was supposed to go into. You know what I'm saying? And so when you think about, when you start to align yourself with what a higher source of power, who you think what it is that you should be doing, that's directing, that's guiding you, right? And you're not doing something just because you feeling a little emotional or the boss was mad this day and, I can start my own little paper factory, whatever that looks like. I think your business mind goes a little different. Because I also look down on, well, let me not say look down, but I don't agree with the whole, like, you should have like a side job and work your job or work the business on the side type of thing. I think if you want to do business, you should do business 100% all in.
I agree too, but I think that's also because people don't know their numbers. They just do the thing on the side, and in their mind, it's the side business. So they treat it like the stepchild, right? They don't give it 100%.
Right.
It's kind of like,
do you really want to do this or not?
It's kind of like, I really want it to hit big, but I'm only going to give 30%.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So I mean, I think unless you take the side business, unless you take the side money to really generate wealth, or like, you know what, I created this side thing, or I'm a Uber for 2 years so I can get out of debt, or you know what I mean? To me, that's a little different. But if you're really trying to be a business owner, you can't do it with a W-2 job. Somebody has to be 100% in the business.
Right.
You, your spouse, somebody's got to commit. It's not going to work because you can't.
And it depends on the type
pulling your time and attention
and your resources.
You
spread thin. And sometimes it depends on like the business and the business model and how big you want it to be. Like we brought statistics about 97% of businesses being a one-man show.
Yeah.
But sometimes maybe they just want to be. You know what I'm saying? Like they probably don't want that growth past. $200,000, $500,000, or even $1 million. Some people may not want that growth past that, right? I met a guy randomly, and he has a medical doctor, military retirement. He still works a job, lives in DC, but have a side business where his business makes a decent amount of money. And I'm like, you ain't gonna go. That was my first question. You ain't going. Why are you still working? You don't want to like go in on your business. You don't want it to grow. He like, no, it makes a decent amount of money. I still can do what I can do at my job. And he making it ain't like no small change on the side business. Side business is probably making way more than his actual job, but he just like doing both. And the way his business is set up, he don't need all the things to actually run it. Right? He don't have to go out and get an office. He don't have to do all these things, but he could generate income.
Yeah.
He could travel in and out of the state. He like, I got to go in Atlanta every now and then to meet with some board directors, some doctors over here. I said, cool.
Yeah,
right?
Depending on the business and
depending
the
on what
industry,
you're trying to do.
If it's passive and it doesn't require a lot from you, but it's profitable for him.
It is profitable. It is. He is
the
making
key
money.
To make money. So how do you know if your business is profitable, right? And so we talk about the SWOT analysis. You got to look at your business. This morning on our call, we talked about what's hurting you, what's hindering you, and what's helping you.
Yeah.
And I think you need to look at that in your business. If something is helping your business, if it's hurting your business or hindering your business, and you look at those things and
even you,
are you hindering your business?
Right.
Are you an asset? Are you helping your business?
Are you a liability?
And I think you need to be really realistic about that. The SWOT analysis is another great tool to determine if your business is in a good position. Also, the numbers. All of those things play a really important role in how far you need to take your business. Yeah. And so I think it's you're playing with yourself, really. If you don't know your numbers and you're not really sitting down trying to understand how your business can grow and where the opportunity for growth is. If we're talking about business. And I think you doing yourself a disservice by not knowing your numbers.
Yeah.
Not understanding your strengths of the businesses, the weaknesses, the opportunities, and the threats. The SWOT analysis is a real thing for a reason. So I say 3 years, do the SWOT analysis, find out what's helping you, hindering you, and helping you. And you do that every quarter, and you can get your numbers and see, hey, this business is really doing the damn thing for me, or I need to quit.
I also think it's I'm with you. I think it's such a thing too as like you can't quit. You know what I mean?
Like people committed.
Like I'm in that process now. I'd be like, man, I just want to sometimes I just be want to call it.
Doubling down on the dysfunction.
I just want to call it.
Just doubling down on the dysfunction. It's dysfunctional. I just got to double down because I don't. It's ego. That's ego.
But I'm saying sometimes like I just be like I don't want it. I'm tired of dealing with the people. I just can't do it. But then I look back and be like, well, what else am I gonna do? I've been in this thing for so long, right? Like it's like you too committed to like back out of it, right? Like it's like you gotta see. That's literally where I'm at this year. I'm like at a point where like we're making okay money, right? We hit a little, ebbs and flows like normal businesses, but I'm And I've got the coaches, I've got the mentors, I got the peers, I got all the things going. And I coach, right? And I'm still at a point where I be like, I just don't want to do it today. I don't want to do it today.
I think that's a human moment. And I think we talked about the mental health aspect. I think, unplug, take a breath, because entrepreneurship is taxing. You're running a race. It's tough sometimes. The biggest, highest paid CEO to the lowest level CEO, entrepreneurship and being a business owner is a lot of responsibility. It's a lot on your shoulders. And sometimes you're tired, you're burnt out. And so I get it when you go, I don't want to adult today.
And sometimes when you're not seeing like the results you think you should be, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I'm good. Well, I'm not getting the results that I want to, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes you mistake that for like defeat, but sometimes it could just be you just got to consistently do it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's God's timing too. Sometimes
that's
we want
true
it.
Too.
You know what I mean? We
ain't ready for it.
You're not ready for it. You're not ready for it.
You ain't ready for it.
So
I hit them periods all the time where I'm like, I'm about to call it, but then I think I really contemplate it and I say, I can't think of nothing else. Like when I think about it, I can't say it. Nothing comes to me to say, "Oh yeah, just apply at Microsoft and B2C." Nothing comes to my mind to like, what you gonna do?
I am unhireable, legit. I am unhireable.
I'm like, what am I gonna do? Like
on
I'm so
paper,
committed.
Legally, I ain't hired. You can't.
Like I'm so committed in this thing. Like you got no choice but to see it through.
I can't even work for Uber. Okay.
Well, that's a little. That's a little different.
I can't. I'm double. It's nothing.
It's nothing you can do.
The ships are burned. There is no plan B.
Ain't no turning back.
It's no turning back.
Ain't no bridge on the back.
Full steam ahead.
Ain't nothing you can do.
It's nothing.
We just got to keep going. Through the storm.
What? There's nothing else.
Ain't nothing else to do.
It's no going back. I can't even go back there.
Listen.
Even if I wanted to get a job.
I know.
I can't even see what I could possibly do.
Like, where you gonna go?
It's been 12 years.
Who gonna hire you?
I've been my own boss. Even when tax clients call to complain
great
about
CEOs.
me, they complain about me. I laugh. I be like, "What's her name? What she do? She didn't call you back."
I think business owners probably make good CEO. Those are jobs. You could be CEO of somebody's company,
sir. You know, I am unhireable.
Oh my God, y'all, this is crazy. Yeah, listen.
When they run my background check,
is it?
That's
it.
I got to know somebody to know somebody.
Me, on the other hand, I'm just like, it's like we're so deep into it that you can't look back. Yeah. You just got nowhere else to go but look at yourself, go to God, and look forward, right? Hire the people that you're supposed to hire, bring on the people that you're supposed to bring. Coaching, right? Last year was my first like real investment into a coach outside of just mentors that I had, right? And it's a bit challenging for me. Yeah. Like to this day, I'm still in the mentorship and it's a bit challenging for me.
No, for sure. I had a call this morning and I said, okay, I know what I need to do. I'm about to call E and be like, okay, I need help in this. Because sometimes you still don't ask for it, right? And you still don't seek out what you know you need, So like I said, entrepreneurship is not for the faint at heart. It is a legit forward movement. And it's really difficult if you've had any mild success. Yeah. Right? Because you kind of get comfortable at this like level.
We didn't hit here.
And it got in your mindset and the activity you did to get here. Yeah. Kind of keeps you here. Because now you got to reprogram to get here. Yeah. You got to be a different beast, a different animal to take it up a notch. And so to get from here to here, you're like, what I need to do? Yeah. God, who I need to be? So you reading the books, you're like, I got to do this. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to get up at 5 a.m.
Right.
You trying to do all this stuff.
When you go to bed till 11, I got to get up at 5. We got to hit the gym.
They said sleep is for suckers. Right. So I'm going to stay up 24 hours. Like...
Team no sleep.
Mind you delirious. You can't even think. Like, I'm drinking.
Zombie.
Listen.
About to quit.
But that's a part of the process, though. It is, because then you realize that maybe all that shit ain't even worth.
I don't want that.
I just need to wait for God. I was doing all that I just need to wait my ass for God and sit down and keep moving forward. I'm seeing momentum. I am making money. I am profitable. I'm doing the things to become a better leader, a better communicator. I need to be a better marketer, right? Because a lot of times we want instant gratification. You're like, I'm doing the stuff.
I know.
But it takes time. And we just impatient. But that's a part of the entrepreneurial journey, because you need a certain amount of impatience to run.
You might get to comparing yourself like, dang, they just did that and got $1 million. Like, what? Yeah. I'm trying to do what? I ain't even get $2.
These people talking about doing $1 million in a day. I'm like, damn, what in the? So you do, but that's what makes that animal, that thing in you run, because you are motivated to push yourself where other people lack that. That lack that personal accountability to push yourself. You know what I mean?
I'm definitely feeling like I'm at a point where I gotta take a breather somewhere to get a second win.
Yeah.
And then the other thing that kind of keeps where I'll be like, man, I can't quit, is because it's not really about me at this point, because now I've exposed my family to certain stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And although I'm still just, a simple man, but being able to do things like, take my kids places when before we couldn't do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that, it was just, and to still have, like, we still talk about first, like the first Black woman or man to do this. I'm having those like almost all the time. Like the first time we could just hop and go to Disney World just on Monday, we going on Friday, right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
To like think about, to have that freedoms to just take the kids to Florida. We staying at the Grand Lakes and this, you know what I mean? We really don't have to leave the area, but the service you're getting, exposing our family into a different arena. It's like, what are you going to do? You can't like not continue to press forward to do it. So it becomes the pressure. It becomes the challenging work, but then, hey, everybody you can't handle the weight of the crown, but most people want it.
No,
and it's also that's the other side. Most people don't talk about. It's like a garden, because you still got to keep out the vultures who trying to come and get your stuff, who trying to come get you, and that's everybody between the tax man, this person, the feelings, the jealousy, the enviness, right? Then the loneliness sometimes you might have to deal with.
And the personal accountability, right? Yeah. Because with wealth and with income presents opportunities in front of you that you may not need to take. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. You need to have personal accountability to go, I'm here, I've reached this level. And when you look at celebrities and entertainers, even personally myself, that once you obtain a certain amount of wealth, sometimes you feel like you're untouchable, right? Yeah. You feel like, you start to lack accountability, even integrity. You know what I mean? That once you obtain,
you start losing your morals
for sure. So I think
temptation is heavy.
Absolutely. With wealth and with money is a lot of responsibility that I think people just aren't ready for and don't talk about. So when we say, if a business isn't working for you, you quit. I think that's more what I'm referencing, of course, is the actual thing, but it's saving yourself. It is changing your mindset and getting you ready maybe for something else that maybe you're not ready for.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because
maybe it's a reason it's not working.
It's a reason sometimes it's not working. And sometimes we are so committed to something that's not working.
Yeah.
That the long suffering is there and you're dredging and dragging yourself through the quicksand.
Yeah.
Of struggle and strife, and really God is trying to keep you away from something that you don't need to be in.
Definition of insanity: doing the same thing, hoping for different results.
For sure.
No, I agree. I think it's definitely a lot of responsibilities, and I think that like I heard somebody say, every level there's new devils. So it's not like the more money you make, the easier it gets. Certain aspects it gets a little bit easier, access get a little easier, but then the easy things become a little bit like temptation. So we watched David fall for for what he did. We watched Solomon do the same thing. Great men, but they all failed due to women, right? And most businesses or most wealthy people do the same thing. You got even the greed of money. So you think about what's my man's name who pulled off the scam?
Madoff?
Yeah, Madoff, right?
I mean,
that was just real. I mean, but that was all power and greed.
No, for sure. But I think
and that
started
temptation.
Off.
No, he started off good. He started off working at an accounting firm. He started off making money.
When he started his investment firm, it started off a Ponzi.
He started off really.
I don't think he ever traded.
No, he started off really trading.
Okay.
It just quickly pivoted into we could just stoop and then do this, and we could just and we can get a new building, get the 7th floor. Nobody knows what's on this floor but me and. And we can make it work.
That's that depreciation. It's a phantom. It's a phantom expense. It's a phantom.
Right? But for sure, I think you still have those people who they're just devilish. You intentionally are looking to destroy a thing, right?
Yeah.
But even in that scenario, you think about Adam and Eve and the snake in the garden,
I
right?
think most people go into something with most people, right? There's always outliers.
Don't go in there with the intent to do harm.
For sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
You got some small people.
I think when people say, I want generational wealth, I want to be financially secure, I want to be an entertainer, I want to be the best this, the best that, and they start to obtain those things,
by any means necessary,
then Pandora's box is open. Yeah. And there's a new set of challenges and decisions that you didn't even think was even an option. You're like, wait, what? This is a thing? I didn't even know.
Because when you look at Madoff, what was so interesting to me was like he made so much money off scamming people out of their money. And he knew at some point this thing had to like tip over.
And what was some people doing? 401s, IRAs?
No, I think that was just like stock investing. Almost like Wolf of Wall Street, like the penny investing. They weren't doing like 401. They was taking their retirement.
He was taking the fire, the teacher pensions.
He was. And investing it.
Okay.
Or thinking about taking money,
flipping it and
money.
giving it back.
Right. But when you look at it,
and the teachers pension. The firefighters, they lost all their money.
And individuals save up for retirement and then pull their money out for it to still grow while they're in retirement, and they lost their money.
Absolutely.
And when you think about it, the only thing that really turned him in was his own morals.
For sure.
Like, because he was untouchable. The SEC came out 2 to 3 times, passed the inspection. But he was just like, I can't do it no more. It can't sit on my heart no more for years. And then he turned himself in.
He said, this thing is going good.
It's going, right.
I can't quit.
We're going to keep it going.
I can't quit.
Right.
It's no quitting.
It's no quitting. No quitting. We committed.
I am making a profit.
But then he started to see the turmoil inside. He started dealing with it, battling with himself. Because it's the only way he got caught is he turned himself in. He like, I'm going to admit
like
to
90.
it.
I mean, he probably was like, I didn't flew
enough
that
private
part
jets. I didn't really know.
He was old.
When he turned himself in?
What? Bernie Madoff was like 80-something years old. He was in the latter part of his life.
He said, well, I'll live the last...
What?
20, 30. And what did he do with that money?
And his family. Well, they sold his assets.
His sons killed himself.
Yeah, because they was going to be poor.
I mean,
they probably was like, we don't want to be poor. You know, the last
name
is
the way they made it seem was based off like, it's like rich. When people say rich people problem, like you destroyed our name, we're embarrassed.
Right. Now we got to go work.
Right. Anyway, I think we digress.
We definitely veered off course, but it happens, right? Because we minding the biz.
I think when it comes to quitting, I'm still stand by. Like, I don't think I think there's a pivot. Mm-hmm. I think you definitely should do things and fail fast, right? Any wealthy person will say fail forward, right? Fail fast. Like, just do the thing. It's a double-sided coin. It's polarity. It works or it works on you. So if I try this thing and it's a success, it's a success. If it's a failure, find the lesson so that I don't repeat it and do it again, right? And pivot. And then understanding that there's pressures all around you. and get things done by any means necessary with some moral character in that bow.
Mm-hmm.
You know
and it's
what I mean?
okay to quit. It's okay to give up on something that's not working and put your time and energy into something else that is working.
Yeah.
I think don't double down on the thing that's not working for you and your business.
And that's with anything. That's if we talk about classism a lot on this show, right? Because we think that racism is not that it's not there, but it's oftentimes a smokescreen for classism. And I think that the poor, you really should quit that because you are doing the same things and you want better. It's just you're not taking the right steps to do better, to get better, to change your situation, to stop working at the jobs that you're working in, to build up a skill. You don't want to invest that time in, and that's probably where it comes in, because it is time. You don't know the timing, but if I spend years building in myself, reading the right books, being around the right people, trying to do the right things, I might be a 10-year, 15-year overnight success.
Right.
Or 5-year or 3-year.
Listen, but them first 15 years, you made some money.
You did.
You made some
profit.
Yeah,
you definitely profiting.
Definitely profit.
Because at some point, it's not about like, you start to hit the goals, but then it's the game of just doing the game. Like what more can we, like if I hit the million, what's next? What can I do? What can I do to build? What can I do to keep going? So you definitely want to do that.
We can go to the tax tip segment.
Yeah.
Then we got it. Bum, bum, bum. So I know we need like some sound effects next time. We're going to have some sound effects for y'all next time. Going to our tax tip.
I got a bunch of questions from the people.
Okay.
I don't know which one. This one might be good. Good business. Somebody said, what's a good system to use to organize myself outside of QuickBooks? Like, how can I get organized to know my numbers, organizing my business without using, I don't want to pay for QuickBooks.
Then I would use an Excel spreadsheet. Like old school, get you an Excel spreadsheet or get you a pencil and a paper.
Yeah.
You got to write down and know your numbers. Like if you don't want to use QuickBooks, you don't want to use any bookkeeping software, I think that's going to be the best for you. I think you want to save yourself time and energy, right? Because then you're going to have to go through your bank statements and realize how much money you're spending on said thing, right? I would at least do it at a macro level to go, well, how much did my business in its entirety spend the month of March? Mm-hmm. If you don't want to itemize it, right? Mm-hmm. If you're not like, dang, it's so time consuming to see how much I spent on food, how much did I spend on gas, how much did I spend on marketing, how much did I spend on paper, right? Because that's itemizing it out very specifically.
Yeah.
You should know that, right? But if you just don't have the time, and I know that's a lot to ask most entrepreneurs to do that, then at least go, okay, well, for the month of March, I spent $3,000 and we made $5,000. Right, I think that at least you could do that. Yeah. Right.
That's the only way you can do it.
If you have a business account, you should at least get you an Excel spreadsheet. Look at how much you spent each month. Right. You could, and if you want to, you could do weekly. Every Sunday, I'm gonna go into my account. How much did I spend this week? Either do a weekly or monthly, but whatever it is, you need to be consistent at it, and you need to know your numbers.
And I think to pose a question like that, we just have a misconception of how to look at things. So either way, you got to track the numbers. So either you do Excel or you hand Jimmy in it and like, hey, I did this. But some way you got to figure out how profitable you are. Because at least you got to do your taxes. That's at the baseline.
And it helps you with your spending. It even helps me. If I don't look at my account and I don't do my pie chart and how much I spend, I usually go over my budget, right? So when I look at my food budget and I go, when I see it,
I got to cook tonight.
Oh yeah, when I see it, then I can hold myself accountable.
Yeah,
so
whatever you can't see, you can't
ignorance
measure.
is bliss. Sometimes people don't want to see it.
Yeah.
Then they can't hold themselves accountable for the lack of discipline that they have. So when I look at my numbers and I see my pie chart and what I spent, I'm like, Sarah,
for sure,
you can't blame nobody but you.
No, that's good.
Yeah.
So how to manage it outside of QuickBooks is you have to do it Excel or hand Jimmy, right? But I think, like I said, to pose the question, I think it's a matter of a way you need to look at it. So you might be looking at like, well, I got to pay QuickBooks, or why should I pay for a bookkeeper? Now you just got to, it's a different mindset shift here.
For sure. You're
if I
paying
can
for
pay
convenience
somebody, right? If I'm
and
paying
time.
somebody to save me time where I can focus on being me as the greatest level I can be, and let this person do what they can do great, right? Like we offer bookkeeping services. And then plus as a professional bookkeeper, or, you know, we'll know like how to properly code it down to the T. Still requires some insight from the business owner. Like, hey, what was this expense at Walmart? Exactly. Mm-hmm. Right. Mm-hmm. But we can code the stuff down to the T. So, you know, like what's this line item? What's this? Well, you're spending way too much money on software. Yeah. Can we reduce our software costs somehow? We could probably save another $5,000 to $10,000 a year doing that. Right.
For sure.
Small changes move the needle. So it might be a shift. Use QuickBooks. Whether you do it yourself or you hire somebody to do it. Why? Because it's a convenience factor. Mm-hmm. They will just automatically link your business bank account, and all you got to do is go in there and plug and play. It's simple.
And then you can sit down with someone to help you interpret what those numbers mean.
Yeah.
Right? Because sometimes business owners don't quite get what the numbers mean.
Right.
What their spend means, right? And the lack thereof.
That's when you hire a competent bookkeeper.
Absolutely, right? And so that you can see, dang, I'm spending a lot of money on advertising. I'm spending a lot of money on Google ads or Facebook ads.
Yeah.
Is it yielding the return that it needs to, right?
Yeah.
So I think, you know, when people talk about all the different applications they have, if you have like, you know, ClickFunnels and MailChimp and Textland, you know, you have all these applications. Are they generating income to support those monthly expenses, right? And so the numbers matter. The numbers make sense. So shameless plug, you know, Tax Tracking Plus, we are all in one CRM. Come check us out. However, when you look at those numbers, you want to always look at systems and services that can help lower your monthly costs, right? How can you be more effective and efficient? And that's what large corporations do almost daily. And so you as a small business owner have to do the same thing.
Because them small dollars add up. We spending $20,000 a year on software costs. What's this software doing? You got something for your email, something for this, something for this, something for this, right? But knowing the numbers help you do that. Yeah. So that's how you can do it without using QuickBooks. But our recommendation is use QuickBooks / hire a bookkeeper, right? Especially if you don't know.
Or
if
Xero,
you're in the stage to hire, or Xero.
There's other bookkeeping.
It's Xero. There's FreshBooks, Xero, and QuickBooks. I typically use Xero and QuickBooks. Yeah. So
Xero, and I use Truebill, which is now Rocket Money, for my personal stuff. Like that's when I say my pie chart. Yeah. My personal budget. When I look and go, dang, I'm over. And
we got a discount code for Xero, so hit us up if you want to use Xero, right?
We
so that's right.
Out.
Branding deals. Shout out to Xero. So that's it, right? So it's a wrap, y'all. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Leave your comments in the comment section. I read them. I be reading all of them. So the good, the bad, the ugly.
I'm like 2 days behind.
Yeah, we read them. We read them. We are engaging in them. We're trying to figure out how we could get better. We're actively not quitting and working on developing ourselves.
We got a 3-year plan, y'all.
Yep.
We've seen growth.
Gotta work. We have.
We've seen growth. Long as it's forward.
That's all I ask for. Listen. It works. So make sure y'all like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that bell button, and we'll see y'all in the next episode. Don't forget to keep minding your biz. Peace.